Hello viewers, you're welcome to the Everton Talk Show, and our guest today is Elvis Fuamba. Nice to have you today, Elvis.
Thank you for having me.
So how are you doing?
I'm fine.
You had a long way today.
Yeah, pretty long day at work and I came immediately here to see you.
Anyway, I'm happy that you are here today.
Yes.
It wasn't easy to get you here. You were a busy man.
Busy.
Yeah. So today I brought you here today, to talk on so many issues. Like not really issues, but kind of stuff that we can learn more, and my viewers also gonna learn. And I mentioned to you before that we're gonna talk about Afro-Finns, what you do, like entrepreneurs investing in Africa, and also Finnish companies going to Africa, like the opportunities. So first of all, I'd like you to tell my viewers, who is Elvis Fuamba?
Yeah, a little introduction about myself. So yeah, my name is Elvis Fuamba, and then I've lived in Finland for about over 60 years. 16 years, sorry.
16 years.
Yeah. Alright. I'm not that old, but anyways, yes, I work in Tampere area as an entrepreneur. I have a company that does landscaping, and then I've been doing that for about 10 years. And other than that, in my other life, I engage into community work, and which materialized by the creation of Afrofinns, which have been existing now for about a year and a half. But basically, it's been going on for about maybe 3-4 years.
3-4 years.
Yeah, I can remember already in 2012 we have some papers already written about Afrofinns, but because we were still busy, we couldn't start it then. But yeah, good it started. So yeah, basically about me, I live in Tampere, and then yes.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned about your company. Can you tell us more about your company?
Yeah, my company name is actually now Viske OU. Yeah, is a landscaping company. So we build roads, front yards, and then mostly work in the area of Tampere. Of course, sometimes also we go as far as Helsinki. But yes, a very family company, small. Basically, we have 2 employees and then me. So yes.
Oh, that's good.
You can find us on the internet if you're interested or you're buying a house and you want us to fix it.
Okay, just like a real estate company?
We don't sell houses. We just, when you have a front yard and then you have to do your gardening, you have to do your pavement work, you have to put some pipes under. So we have machineries to dig, we have hand power to shovel and do everything. Is a construction but not touching the house, just outside of the house, and we work mostly like this.
You mentioned about Afro-Finns.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like an idea which was preconceived like 3 years or 2 years before the actual existence. And how did you come up with that idea? I mean, what were you guys thinking about?
I remember actually it was exactly in 2012 that we had a first meeting that we talked about a way to get the community more organized, and then aiming for bigger achievements and better ones and visible ones. So in that way we started to think about how we can make this happen. So we all agree with the name Afrofinns because it was a kind of obvious one with Africans living in Finland. So the name was pretty obvious at that point. We were not sure, but now I think he got his mark, so it's good. So Afrofinn basically was to kind of be this kind of umbrella that's kind of bring the community together and kind of direct the community to the better direction. Not a better direction, but different direction. I would say than what we're used to in this country. So that's what we want.
Once someone asked me this question, I mean, like basically, is it like the Afro-Finn, or is it like for Africa, like Finnish Africans with Finnish passport, or like Finnish nationality, or it's kind of like for everyone?
No, actually, Afrofinns is open to everyone. Basically everyone. The name actually kind of materialized the idea is like Afro-Finns. So it's a connection between Africa and Finland. So it doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you have links to Africa or you have intention to integrate Africa or to know about Africa, I think you're welcome.
Okay. And basically, last year you guys had so many events going on, and you even because of Afro-Finns, I was able to be engaged like in an event in Crazy Town, and that was inspirational for me because I have never been involved in like an event like such event, and it was kind of like eye-opening for me, and from then everything was changed about how I see things and how I perceive the African market.
Yeah.
You know. So can you tell us more about like what Afrofinns is trying to do with like Africa? I mean, it's kind of, do you guys have kind of like a link with Africa government or something? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. We have a link with Africa. First of all, we are from Africa. I'm from Africa, so that's a big link right there. So just to come back quickly to what you mentioned just now, the last year event you're talking about was the Export Gateway organized. It was powered by Business Tampere. Afrofinn led it, and then in Afrofinn we had Miss Njoki that was the one managing the event. But to come back to your question, Africa is like the home base. So anything we do is very much related to the link that we have for Africa. Being it the fact that we as African need to integrate in Finland, or being it the fact that we as African or we as Finnish people want to integrate the African market as in business, or market as like in another social way of integrating Africa. So basically, yes, we have a really big link to Africa that I don't think we should lose at the moment. So in that way, we're trying to discover or create new ideas to allow the Finnish companies to have a better vision of Africa, how Africa works. And then I've just came back to from Africa myself, so I have pretty much good ideas now to talk about. But yes, basically Afrofinn wants to keep the links, and then we have links to Africa.
Okay. Viewers, if you are joining us right now, I'm with Elvis Fuamba, and he's one of the co-founders of Afrofinns. And ever since we have been discussing about himself, his business, what he does, and also about Afrofinns, the creation and what they are all about in Africa. And right now, Elvis is, are you like the secretary of Afrofinns?
Yeah, this year I'm the Afrofinn secretary, so if you need any information about Afrofinn, probably get by me, and then of course the people taking the decision is mostly the chairman and then the board. Then I will transmit your message to them, and then they will of course get back to you.
I also see that you really want to encourage African entrepreneurs to go back to Africa and make use of the African economy or the African market. So do you have any kind of like, what can you really say to African entrepreneurs who are in Finland or around the world to look at Africa as a potential market for their investment or for their product?
Well, I don't know about around the world, but in Finland, what I would say to African entrepreneurs about the African market is like there is a lot of opportunities, especially the fact that we live in a country that gives us so much in terms of knowledge, abilities, and then tools to develop whatever. I could say probably 99% of anything we can think about in this country is possible to make it happen. So in that way, this is a really good chance not to sit home and then wonder, but to really go out there and then try to make your dreams come true. The only way we can make those is to make a move. And Africa is very much open. I mean, it's everywhere on news and TV. The market is getting open. We just need creativity and then the tools to go there. And I believe in Finland we have a lot of African with that. So that is basically one of the goals that we want to have, that to pull all these connections, Finnish, African, and then trying to see if we create something good in Africa.
I mean, like for example, I know Afrofinns, or maybe you, apart from Afrofinns, you are really into investing in Africa. I see that you have different projects that you are doing, like you are carrying on in Africa, and also you are trying to encourage young people or like people who have business in Finland, or people who are thinking of creating a business to go to Africa. But what if someone says it's so difficult to have a business in Africa? I mean, like, the system is so difficult for them to have a business in Africa. What can you say to that person?
Well, I remember from the last year, the Gateway Sport, one of the key points that was Africa market is difficult, which is true. The African market is difficult if you don't know the market. So in that regard, if I think about a Finn that would like to invest in Africa, it's really crucial that he has someone that knows the market. Okay. So I don't think the African market being difficult should be a barrier to people to go. It's difficult, yes, but it's possible. It's very much possible, and it gets easier and easier. The first step is difficult, but when you get in, it gets easier and easier. Okay. And things are changing in Africa, politically changing, socially changing, and the more we live here, the more we lose the connection. But when you go and come back, you know that yes, this is doable. So I would encourage people to really look into that, look into creating companies in Finland, or looking into exporting or going to Africa.
Yeah, and to my dismay, going to that export gateway, Crazy Town, I noticed that so many companies in Finland, African-based, like companies in Finland who are based in Africa, like not based in Africa, but they are operating in Africa, who want to go to Africa, go to the African market. Yeah. I mean, if I didn't like put myself out there, I wouldn't have had this opportunity to like be to be engaged. So I mean, there are people who don't have that like they are sleeping. Yeah. Say they are sleeping.
Exactly. That's one of the key. That's a symptom of our community. I would say why we are kind of back compared to other communities is because the networking tradition is not that developed into us. We don't go out there. We don't put ourselves out there. Of course, this is changing a lot. What I'm saying could be a little bit shocking for some people because I noticed that it's changing now. In Helsinki, in Tampere, Afrofinns, Think Africa, there's a lot of entities that are really putting in a big job to pull people out from home. And then, but yes, like you said, that if you don't go out, there's no way you get to meet people. The only way people do business with you is if they trust you, and the only way they trust you if they know you. So they can't know you if you stay home.
Yeah. Just like that. I also see that you are putting on like you have an ongoing project like with artists, something like that.
Yeah, we have is a project from Afrofinns that we started last year. Is a project that is led by Rasmus or RU, which is an association, anti-racism association in Helsinki, and then in collaboration with that, Afrofinns is taking part in the Tampere area. Yeah. And the basic idea is to spread the love message that against hate speech, hate of foreigners or racists in general. So yes, and now we have that ongoing project. We have two groups. There's a musician group that is actually in studio now recording, and then there's an artist group that have a really good idea coming up in video. And that should be published around March. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys have kind of like an artist project? Because I have one question from one guy, Billy Kim. He's an artist. So the question is like, how would I get myself chosen to perform this year, and what are the procedure like? How are the procedure to get to the program?
I have to answer this on a personal level because I think the board decides about this. But personally, Afrofin has a lot of events. And mostly in all the events we have entertainment part in that. The biggest one being the Afrofin Achievement Award, which is more visible and out there. So there if I remember from last year, Afrofin sent out an invitation to artists to say if they're interested to take part. Yes, I think it will be the same this year, that we will send at one point an invitation to artists. And then one that I can think about immediately is the Ihana Kierat, which is held in Tampere, and then there also we have artists needed to perform in that event. So yes, just get in touch with Afrofinns and then get to know what the events are, and then like we said, come out and talk to us. I'm sure something is going to happen, definitely.
Yeah, and also are you guys going through like a special procedure, or I mean just contact you guys and?
No. There's not any special procedure about that. It's just like it depends on the event also in a way. Like I said, also the board basically decided about that, so I cannot give a definitive answer at this point. But with my memories and what we've done last year when I was chairman, it's just like we have the artists and then we kind of decide which are the best. Then we go with the best.
Okay, I don't know if this question is for you or maybe for the president of Afrofinns, but I mean, do Afrofinns have kind of like do they, for example, immigration issues? Can they help with immigration issues? Like if somebody has some issues with immigration or kind of legal issues, can they like give advice on, you know?
Well, like you said, that's mostly. But anyways, what I would say is that Afrofin being an association for Africans, it's obvious that of course we will help if we can, and then if we have the tools. But above that, I would like to add that we live in a country that has really good tools for those kind of issues, like immigrational issues. There's in Tampere, there's Mainio, which our actual chairman happened to work there. So we have entities in Finland that are really good. You can have good connection and good answers from those. in that way, I don't think that that's why Afrofin engaged that much in helping immigrants, because the help is really enough.
Okay.
We tend to help like when you already in Finland, and then from there where you go. So that's where we come in. In a way, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to your company. You know, I mean, apart from being the company in Finland, are there any possibility for you like taking it to Africa?
Yeah, actually, last December I was in a conference in Accra with that has as topic landscaping and environmental issues in the country, like road building and everything. And I see that there's a lot of opportunities there. I never thought of exporting my job in Africa, but after my last trip, it's something I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, for Africa, I have really other ideas that are more needed for me in my own understanding that I want to develop, and then that's actually ongoing now. But
are there some ideas you want to share? Like
no, I wouldn't share. I wouldn't share anything precise at the moment. It's just like I want to carry on the same idea. Actually, it's basically the Afrofin idea going to Africa as a continent that. We have talent in Africa, and then it's time for us to start, using the talent, and then trying to give these talents tools and possibilities to also bloom out and do something.
I have to say that you guys have done something so great in Finland.
Thank you.
I mean, Afrofin is in Finland. When it comes to the African community, African organization, Afrofin is worldly known in Finland, not like on Finland and also. I got some people in like some friends in the US telling me like is there one organization in Finland called Afro-Finns? I said nice. And they were like, okay, but are they like only for like African with Finnish nationality or that's why I posed that question to you.
It's for everyone. It's for everyone. And actually, we don't have only Africans. We have Americans, Jamaicans. We have many other, I would say, black people in this way, or African descent that are in Afrofin, or even though they are not in as members, but they really integrate and then participate in our event. So
I'm sorry that I'm talking more about Afro-Finns.
No, of course we can talk about Afrofin. I don't have any problem.
Talking about your company, and also I mean, are there possibility of people like who want to be engaged in the same activity, like the same to open the same company, something like that? And what advice can you give such people? Yeah,
I encourage that a lot. First of all, the construction business in Tampere is just blooming and blooming. Is growing and growing, and then as you can see, the Tampere city is just engaged in this huge project of the tramway, and that is creating a lot of job in the. Last year, if I remember, everywhere I looked, there was people needed. So in that way, if you are not afraid to be outside in the cold or use the machine or get dirty, I think it's a place that I think I think it's a place that people should look into. It's a really flexible work environment. Financially, it's very rewarding. So the salaries are really good. I wouldn't say any salaries now, but I know the basic salaries in Finland, example, but I would say that the salaries are really, really good. So in that way, and then you have a lot of flexibilities. So maybe I have more flexibility because I work for myself, and then I can decide my timetable, but still I know people that work as workers also have a lot of flexibilities. Yes, I will encourage people to look into that area because it's needed. Last year there was a lot of foreign work power for that, and because there was no one in Finland to cover for the stuff. So yeah.
Do you think you being part of Afro-Finns have impacted your business?
My business, no, because they're really two different things. But if there's any impact, is like most of the people I work with, I collaborate with. Like I collaborate with bigger companies, bigger than my companies. So they make sure I have the work I need. So they get to know about the other part of me, which is Afrofin. So that brings a lot of respect in a way from those people. And then also in few occasions they ask me to help in some, like now there's elections going on. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of happen to help in some videos or contacting the African community for some of the Finnish candidates to the parliament. So Afrofin brought that kind of spotlight on me personally, and I think all the other members also, because of the great job we did. So, and that's why I believe that this job should be carried on and not brought down. So,
okay. Yeah. And I mean, after the event in Crazy Town and also the award event, I mean, other event which Afrofinns was involved in last year. I mean, have you guys had companies calling in that okay to know more about African market and something like that?
Yeah, definitely. We have all the time messages from companies asking about ideas while they engage into Africa and stuff. And now with the Afrofin achievement, there's more artists wanting to participate in this year's event. So yes, anything we do that is a success out there always definitely have a boomerang effect on us, that people trying to contact us and do business or ask for help or something like that.
So if you have to encourage Finnish companies, what will you say to them?
Well, I would tell them first contact us.
Okay.
And then if you don't have any ideas about what you want to do in Africa, we have the ideas, and then we can link you up with some good possibilities. So please feel free to contact Afrofin, and then let's carry on from there.
Is it kind of like the companies? For example, if I understood what you're saying, it's like the company should make sure they have someone in that region where you want to invest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't go to Africa if you don't know the market. Any market. I mean, you don't go to USA if you don't know the market, or you don't go to China if you don't know the market. The same applies to Africa. You don't go to Africa just because you have an idea. There's so much. The social life is completely different from here. Bureaucracy is completely different, and then just other ways to do things are completely different. So you need at least in the beginning someone that is going to guide you, take you there, and that's what we're trying to provide as an association for Finnish companies and Africans living in Finland.
I mean, if someone watching you right now, you would say, life with Elvis is so easy. That everything is just like happy, having fun. I mean, everything is going like smoothly. I mean, is that what is this with you?
No, it's definitely not the case. I mean, how much can I say about my personal life? Yes, I'm a dad and I have 3 kids, and that's already don't make life easy to do. And then 2 of them are a teenage now, so you know, life is not easy. And then we have the work also. You need to wake up every morning, go to work. You need to network. You know, when I mean,
people will think that okay, you are. I mean, how come you are doing this? You have your own company, and I mean, you are still engaged in African development, trying to engage people together. I mean, how do you do that? Like, I mean, what gives you that strength, that focus to do that? To encourage someone.
That's a nice question. Afrofin is more of my heart. It's from my heart, you know. I always wanted to do that for the community, because once I moved to Finland, one thing that completely went away from my life was the respect of me as a human being, in a way. I mean, I was looked down on just for some outside reason that, you know. So I really wanted to change that. And then I mostly don't go with the anti-racist fight just to be there and scream. I believe, and then this is always problematic when I say it. I believe it depends also, or how do I put it? It's also on us to create that image that we want people to see.
Yeah.
We just don't ask for it. You know, we need to create it. So creating it comes from the social standard of my community. We need to raise that social standard. Like, people need to have good businesses, good job, good life situation, and that already changed a lot from the way we are perceived. And then that's what gives me the power to carry on and carry on. And it's from my heart. So people actually ask me all the time, how do you do that? You go to work all this long time, then I have like 3 to 4 meetings concerning Afrofin every single week. I'm here now. And after this, I have another meeting waiting for me, and then on Friday I have one, on Sunday I have one. So yeah, of course it takes a lot from my own personal life, but yeah, I have a great family, and then a great partner that understands that this is my life.
You are an inspiration to me.
Oh, thanks.
Because it means I'm not doing anything.
No, of course. I mean, we are here sitting, so we are doing something. I think you're really doing great. I mean, I've been following your shows. I think this idea is really great. Actually, Afrofinns started with exactly this. The first action we had was trying to find the people that are doing something good and put them on camera and then tell everybody. So that was the first idea of Afrofinns. So in this way, I think you're doing really great. And then I think this is going to just blow and blow and blow and blow.
I focus again with especially Africans in Finland.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so difficult for Africans in Finland to actually get a good job, to actually get an ongoing business.
Yes.
So what can you say to those people who really want to do all these things? What can you really say to them? I mean, if you have to talk to someone face on face or one on one, what would you say to them?
Well, if I have to tell someone about the situation in Finland, first thing I would say is like it's not going to happen tomorrow. We live in a society that is open, but at the same time very close when it comes to certain aspects of the society. Example, better job opportunity for foreigners, and then in particular for Africans, and that needs to change. So, but it cannot change if we as Africans don't put in our own motivations, our own effort. Thank you. If we don't do that, nothing is going to change, because we don't send the message that we are not okay, we need more. So we need to be louder. We need to be louder every day in our action, in what we do. We have to go for very high quality of what we do. So that's why also in my job with Afrofin at work, I always aim for the best quality. I mean, if I make a mistake, I will start everything. So that allows other people to have a good message from us, and then of course it doesn't depend only on us. The society needs to change. This is the Finnish society needs to understand that we live here, we belong here. I never consider myself as a foreigner. I mean, I can stand at any given point with any Finnish guy, and I'm never going to see myself as a foreigner. I take part in this society. I pay taxes like everybody, more than like really a lot of people. Understand? So in that way, this is my society too. Tampere is my city, and it belongs to me. So I'm going to fight as much as I can to create a good opportunity for people like me that came from where I came from, because I was also like, I came through that background. I also didn't have a good job that I liked. I didn't have a good opportunity. My dream seemed to be stuck somewhere. But now it feels better, and I don't think the society didn't change. I think it was your mentality. The job that I did. So I think if we as a community change our mentalities and start demanding more, we will get at least more than we have actually.
So actually, what message you have for people who live in Africa, who want to come to Finland, who want to travel? What message do you have?
Come on, just travel. Traveling is always good. I mean, you should travel. The only way you get to know the world and develop is by traveling. So I wouldn't stop anyone from Africa that wants to travel. But while you are traveling, that is the main key. Don't just travel because you think there's a better life here. Of course, the life is in some part better, but like if I take my personal point, I came to Finland, I gained a lot, but I lost a lot also. So it's a 50-50 kind of, it's a win and lose. So it depends. It's more about individuals, what you're doing in Africa and what you expect from Finland. So the stories are different from person to person. I mean, we know also people that came here and then it was worse than what they had home, and people that came here it got better. So I can't really. Traveling is good.
Traveling is good.
Just travel.
So I mean, my last question. I mean, we have been talking about your business, about Afro-Finns, about like life in general, Africans and so on. What more do you think you want to say apart from what we're discussing? Do you have anything else like you want to say?
I want to say, you need to come out. You need to not sit down at home. You need to come out.
Okay.
I don't know how anyone is going to translate that, but that is my message. Come out.
Okay.
Come out and let's do something.
You hear what Elvis said? Come out from your bed. Stop sleeping. I mean, if you're sleeping, nothing's gonna happen. But if you come out from your bed, everything is gonna happen, because networking with each other. I met Elvis because I came out from my slumber. I met Elvis at I mean that award I got from the talent award. That was my first award I ever gotten from an event like that. So it's precious to me. It's somewhere safe that I keep and look off. I was engaged in something very important, and I saw how people were happy, companies were happy, collaborating with Africans and see how to invest in Africa. So this is all we have for today for this show. Thanks so much for being part of my show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
And viewers, thank you for being with me also. This is the Betom Show, and see you next time. Have a nice day. God bless you. Bye-bye.